Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Jessie and this is the Knit Up and Dye podcast, episode 71, Second Me. As always, I'm going to start with my moments of gratitude where I thank everyone. And I want to start, of course, with my subscribers. New and ongoing, you guys are the reason that I'm here. I love you guys and I thank you for adding me to your day. Special welcome goes out this week to Jennifer C. and Lucy. You guys are wonderful. Special love and thanks as always go out to Wendy, Rosalie, Teresa L., Susan, Wheezy, Adriana, Sonia, Patricia, Lisa Lette, Cabby, Kath, Christy, Neetsy, Charlotte, Chris, Roseanne, Linda, Marie, Eve, Linda, Faye, David, Donna, Betty Ann, Scott and John, Carolyn, Kate, and Terry over at Unwound, Bex, Nancy, Rachel, and Leanne. Thank you guys. A warm hello and welcome as always go out to my patrons. You guys honor me and you make this possible. You've improved my sound, you've improved my lighting, and I just want to give back all the thanks to you, and I'm sure all of my viewers appreciate being able to hear me and see me. Thank you. I need a second me. I need to figure out how to clone myself or photocopy myself so that I have time to do everything that I want to do. I want to be a good wife and a good homekeeper and a good designer and a good employee and a good yarn dyer and a relaxed individual with time off for herself. And I think I need to figure out how to clone myself. I need a second me. Life has been a little bit of a bear lately. We've had, like I've said in the past couple episodes, everybody's taking their vacation time at work, and so I'm covering extra people. And in some cases that means that my lunch break is my one time to get my headspace back and get all the stress shed off again so that I'm ready to go back to work and correct my attitude, which may have been tainted by the activities of the morning. We also have had some changes to software and some changes to equipment, and those things, they are upgrades and always come with a side order of stress, don't they? Because we always have learning curves and we always have to figure out, okay, how do I what's my flow now? How do I work with this now? So I'm coping beautifully, I hope. I try. I do try. So I've been working on the Farmhouse Shawl and I'm loving it. I'm knitting up that sample. I'm making my final notes about the pattern so I can write the pattern up, and I'm loving it. But whenever I'm working on a project like that, there's that meditative state where you're just working, you're knitting, and you're enjoying the pattern, and you go into that peaceful place. My peaceful place has little Jessie gnomes that run around in my headspace and go, oh, so your next design needs to do this, and you need to be able to do that, and wouldn't it be cool if... And I'm never more active in my design mind than I am when I'm knocking out a sample of a design I've already done. And to some degree I'm struggling with that because I'm doing the 2-color version of Farmhouse right now, but I want to do a 3-color version, and I have a rough idea where I'm headed with that. But a new design altogether is what's brewing in my subconscious, and I really have to force myself to focus when I want to pick up the shiny thing and do the shiny thing instead. So I really need to clone myself so I can do all the things. I want to do all the things. So let's look at all the things. What have I been doing? Dyeing. Nothing. I have not been dyeing. I didn't have an opportunity to dye this weekend. I unfortunately had a whole bunch of other chores, and yesterday I decided that I needed to really detox, really shed all the stress. I I work a 40-hour week. I have a significant commute to that job. And then I do this on the weekends. And I love this. This is my thing. But this can also be 20, 25-hour job each week on top of what I'm already doing. And I don't begrudge that for a second. I love what I do here. But you can get tired. You can get tired. And it can start to eat your enjoyment of even the things that you enjoy. So I decided yesterday was going to be a giant technical detox. And got in the car with my husband and we went on a nice road trip. Literally 8 hours on the road, just went out for a nice long drive. I took my knitting with me. It wasn't a full detox. I did knit. I worked on my Farmhouse Shawl, but it was just time to go out and look at scenery and not have the phone, not have the computer, not be getting emails and texts and just quiet. Just quiet and nice conversations and get out and hike a little bit and breathe some air and be horribly inspired and want to make all kinds of other designs. Very healthy, obviously. But I took yesterday off, and that's the first time I've really taken a day off in a long time, and it felt good and I'm feeling really recharged. So I'm excited about that. So I haven't been dyeing. I haven't been dyeing. However, other people have. Other people have. Leanne has a new launch. She is out there. We have a new indie dyer out there, and I'm excited to show you some yarn from her. Leanne has a new company called Southern Colonial Dyeworks. Her label is beautiful. I love her label. And this is a skein of yarn that I bought from her. I made sure that I was first in line when her shop opened, and I love it. This just looks to me like the sun setting in the Southwest Mountains, or even the first light. In fact, she named it Last Light. Last Light, First Light, the colors are similar. This is her Last Light, and it is gorgeous. Let me unwind this. She did this on a fingering weight base. It has the little noops, the nylon bits in it, so it's got a nice, warm, rustic texture. Look at this. Aren't her colors gorgeous? I have envy. I have envy. She's got some colors here that I have difficulty getting to link together without bleeding and becoming something else, and they're gorgeous. I am so happy with this yarn. I'm so happy with this yarn. Leanne very generously has sent a skein on for me to do a giveaway with. And I'm very excited about that. I haven't knocked out any of the details yet. I have not decided what we're going to do, whether it's going to be a podcast giveaway or whether we're going to connect it to the design along. I need to check what she has sent me, what her wishes were, and touch base with her before deciding any of the details. But certainly I'll let you know how to get your hands on some of her yarn because it's beautiful. This is the skein that she sent on, and this one is called One Shot. It's on her Magnolia sock base, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards, 100 grams. Beautiful fingering. Look at this baby. It has just a lovely sterling undertone to it, and then a riot of little colors all over. There's teals and bright yellows and pinks and reds and oranges, and it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Let's pop this open so you have a better look. I'm very excited about Leanne's offerings. I think she has all kinds of talent, and I just love her yarn. Imagine what you could do with this. You could pair that with any favorite color of yours and just make it sing, or you could do this alone. This would be some very fancy dancy socks. This would be a lovely cowl. This would be a fun hat. There are so many things you could do with this. I love it. I love it. I'm just enamored with it. I fully suspect that there'll be many additions to my stash because, you know, I need yarn desperately. All the yarn. I want all the yarn. And there are so many designers, there's so many new indies out there. I am so excited to see you guys all launching your lines, and I love watching your shops. Yes, I'm a lurker. I go back and I relook at your shops often. If I have favorited you, I'm visiting often. I'm the funny little old lady in the back corner going, oh, look, she just added more of that. I don't necessarily have the funds to buy everything that I want. But boy, oh boy, I've got the funds to be tempted, don't I? They're beautiful. So this is Leanne. It's Southern Colonial Dyeworks. These are small batch dyes done in Alabama, and they are beautiful. And I look forward to setting up that giveaway and letting you all know about that. Once I've got the details knocked out, of course, you'll hear about it. You'll hear about it. I did do some dyeing a couple weeks back. I guess it was just last week. God, it's been so busy, I don't even know. Time is flying all over the place. But I did some test dyeing in order to look at setting up kits for the Farmhouse Shawl. Because once the 2-color version is done, I want to get that out to you. Absolutely. And I want to have some kits available. So I was playing with colors. And let me pull up my shawl. It's almost done. I made great progress on it this week, I really did. I'm actually working the knitted lace bind off right now. So it is really almost done. And I'm very, very happy with it. I got through the entire lace and the stripes down at the bottom. I love these colors. I still am just astounded by how the colors show up on the screen. I finally sorted that out and I understand it a little bit better. When I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the variances. I'm very detail oriented. I'm looking at the variances in the yarn. And I'm looking at how the wet sand, which is the light color, has darker tones that occur in the light areas of dark roast. And so when I'm looking at it closely, I'm seeing where the colors overlap, the 2 colorways overlap, and I'm seeing how there's a little bit of a blend, a warmth there where they unite beautifully. However, when I hold it up and I look at the camera, there's this whole distance, and I'm looking at a tiny little monitor screen quite a ways away from me. And that little monitor screen is giving me the same perception as I would have if I saw this in a crowd. And that's where contrast comes into play. That's where your punch comes into play when you choose your yarns. And I can see through the monitor that I'm reviewing my recording through to make sure that my hair is not standing on end, that there's beautiful contrast and you can really see the stripes, and that's exciting. That's going to give this so much interest and so much fun when you wear it, because it's going to evolve depending on where the perspective of the viewer is. And we like that. That gives us interest. That gives us the panache that we're looking for in our fashion. It's coming along gorgeously. I am so happy with it. Like I said, I'm doing the knitted bind off now, which is down here and all curly because it needs to block. But there it is. I'm trying to block my face so the camera focuses on that. And I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous. So, as you may be aware if you're following this, I'm sure you're following this, a number of you have reached out and said, where's the pattern? I want to test knit it, I want it now. It's coming, it's coming. I'm nervous because, as you're aware, I had to re-gauge this. The original design is on a wonky gauge, and I wanted to make this on a more standardized gauge yarn so that anybody could reproduce it and get the same results. When you change gauge, you change yardage. You change yardage. So I know how much was left over when I did the original one, but I don't know what's going to be left over when I do this one. And as a designer, it's important to me, and this is going to sound counterintuitive, but it's important to me as the designer that there be some leftover yarn. I don't want to be playing yarn chicken with my sample. That's bad. Why do I want the extra yardage? Well, I received a wonderful question via the mail this week, and it speaks exactly to this. I don't have permission to use the name. I'm sorry, I did not reach out to get that permission. It's been a hectic week. However, I do want to answer your question here in the podcast, and thank you for asking it. The question that I was asked was, when buying yarn for a project, when you're looking at the yardage listed in the pattern, does that yardage include your swatch yardage? Mine does. Mine does. Whenever I write a pattern, I will always list the pattern yardage at 10% more than I used. 10% more than I physically utilized when I knit the sample. Further, when I'm making tails to change colors, when I am starting or stopping and cutting tails, I do my tails long, 8-10 inches. And the reason for that is to use up a little bit of extra yardage. I want my overall sample to be the median, to use the average amount of yarn that everybody's going to use, but I want mine to be slightly strong. So that when I take that measurement, when I look at the yardage that I used and I add 10% on, not only does it cover your swatch, but it covers variance between knitters. It changes up, it includes whether your gauge is very loose. If your gauge is much looser than mine, you're gonna use a lot more yardage than I am. So I'm trying to be generous with the yardage that I say my pattern uses so that you absolutely have enough. Absolutely. Because I changed the gauge on this, and because I made a couple of very minor changes to the striping on this from the original to balance a little bit of, it's an artsy thing, to balance the visual effect of the lace against the stripes. I made a couple of edits. I don't know how much yardage is going to use. I don't. I'm at the bind off. I have a couple of things I can do to weigh and to calculate to see where I'm at. I'm hoping, very much so, that when I have this knit and complete, my overall usage of both of colorways will be 10% less than the whole ball. That affords you your swatch yarn, and that affords you flexibility in your gauge. Not all designers do that. I can't speak to that. I can't say, yes, we all have this creed, we all do this. I would love to believe that the majority do. I try to list the yardage of the sample yarn that I used and the actual range of yarn that I'm saying is the pattern plus the yardage. Did I make sense with that? That's a strange way to say that. So I will have my yardage plus its 10% listed on the pattern, and I will say I used this yarn and it has this many yards in it, so that you know that one ball is sufficient, or that 250-gram skeins will be sufficient. I want to give you as much information as I can. I will always, on my sample pages on my Ravelry, have the exact yardage that I used without the rounding up, without that 10% rounded on. Lurk, research, take a look. I do try to be very upfront with it. I highly recommend, with any project that you do, when you do your swatches, I know, 9 of you just laughed out loud and went, yeah, right, lady, I don't do a swatch. Are you kidding me? Who swatches? If you were to do a swatch, I would recommend that once it's washed and it's dried and it's set aside, you keep that as your emergency backup, just in case. You never know when unraveling that will make all the difference in your world. To some degree, I don't necessarily bind off my swatches. I'll throw a lifeline through them so that it's like there's a needle in there, and not actually do a firm bind off. that just makes it easier to unravel should I have an emergency and I need to unravel that and save that little bit of yardage for perhaps the bind off of my project, or for that last little bit, or even for an embellishment if I decide to put a pocket on or a pom-pom on later. That may be the yardage that makes all the difference, all the difference. So my answer is yes, when you are buying yarn for a project, that project should include yardage for your swatch. I hope that's helpful. I hope that's helpful. Don't be afraid to ask your designers. Don't be afraid to do that. Reach out to your designers. We are all out there. We are all happy to interact with you and help you. Ultimately, any pattern designer success is your successful completion of the project and your joy with it, because you are our word of mouth advertisement and you're our models. We love to see our designs in the wild. We love to hear back from you about how much you loved that project. And we love to see your posts and your comments about, oh, this hat is fabulous and I knit this up in an hour, and wasn't this wonderful, and her pattern is so well written. That is everything. That is the gold guild on that project, and thank you for that. We love that. We love that. Don't be afraid to reach out. I am always here. I will always help you with it. Certainly if you may have already interacted with me and told me that, yes, I have a typo in my pattern. I'm human. That I will sit down, I will take photos of it. I will re-describe instructions for you. I'll do just about anything except come to your house and actually knit it for you to make sure that you're happy with that pattern. Nothing hurts more than having somebody discussing a project that they're doing going, oh, it didn't make sense and I just couldn't get through this and I don't understand and there has to be an error, so I just ripped it out. I'm not going to do that. No. Please reach out to your designers. We're here to help. Speaking of designers, all right, so this week, like I said, the only thing I really knit on was my Farmhouse Shawl, and I'm loving it. I'm really excited about it. Are you designing something? Come join my design along. I'm having a design along. If you're new, here's the announcement. I'm having a design along, and if you're a long time with me, are you designing something? Have you joined the design along? It's over on my Ravelry group page. Come and join us. The theme is connection, but certainly you can do anything that you want to do. We do have kind of a quiet chatter thread. You're welcome to come and post pictures of your yarn, your swatches, your sketches, your ideas, or even just your angst as you go through the math. Ask questions. We're here to support each other. And we do also have a finished object thread. Please only post your completed design in that thread. That's going to be your entry for the giveaways at the end. And the end is September 1st. I actually have a deadline to get 2 versions of this done, and I'm feeling on target. I'm feeling good about this because I'm binding that off. Yay! So there is an active call for donations as well, and I have received very generous donations. Thank you, everyone who has reached out to me. I really appreciate it, and I will at some point here be organizing that so that you have a nice tempting thread to show you all the things that you could be potentially winning as a designer. And as a designer, I do want to remind everyone, keep it your own. You don't have to write a pattern, you only have to make something, and it can be something on a whim. It can be a modification of another pattern, but please, if you're going to modify somebody else's design, make it a significant modification, make it your own, put your own twist on it. So that's the design along, and I'm a little remiss. I haven't been great about posting my stuff. I do post to Instagram, however I do need to get a little bit more active in my Ravelry group, and I feel a little bit bad about that, but somebody just hot link me and remind me that I need to pop in. I promise I will. Anyway, back to where I was before I drifted way off over here. A couple weeks ago I did do some designing, I guess it was last week, some dyeing, not some designing, some dyeing, with the Farmhouse Shawl in mind, because I very much want to do kits, and I have my pairing colorway set here. The sample, as I said to you, is being knit in dark roast and wet sand. These are on my Samba Monkey base. It is a high twist superwash merino single, and it has a beautiful sheen to it. It has a lovely hand to it. It is a fingering weight. Certainly any fingering weight that you choose will be lovely with it, but the kits will be in the Samba weight. And I'm going to show you some of the colorways. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen snapshots of these. But these are two skeins twisted together to show you their interaction, to show you their coloring. This particular set is Wrench Turner with Barefoot in August. I love this combination. My 3-color version might be a spin-off of this. I haven't decided my 3-color version yet for my sample knit, but oh, I love these two together. And then I have Wet Sand with Spice Market. And I'm tempted here as well to do something to make my 3-color version a spin-off of this. I haven't decided yet. My final color pairing, which would be the 4th color pairing, is Wrench Turner and Brick. And oh boy, I love that. It has a tendency to look a little bit blue. Wrench Turner has a blue undertone, and so it looks kind of like a navy and a brick. But beautiful, beautiful. My 3-color version, I'm torn. It is either going to be these 2 colors with dark roast, so it has a deep brown associated to it as well, or it may be these 2 colors with brick mixed in. I haven't decided. But ultimately the kit is going to be these 3 and then the sample colors that I'm using. And I'm very excited about them. I think they're lovely. If you have, however, very different tastes than these, and you have a suggestion for colorway pairings, reach out to me. I'm always interested to hear. I may not have thought about it the same way. I may be looking at it differently, and you may inspire a different kit design. So contact me. I'd love to hear from you guys. What else is going on? I need a second me. I just feel like I am so busy. Sorry, it is hot as the dickens, and I'm a little dehydrated. Plans coming up, future plans. Of course, I'm going to keep nagging you and reminding you about the Knit Together Community Mixer. We're going to kick that off in August, and there'll be more details coming as that gets closer. It's ultimately a pen pal situation, but with yarn, and that's going to be fun. YouTube Live, haha, duh, here's the announcement. I will announce in other places as well. I'm going to do my first YouTube Live this Wednesday, that is June 13th. It will be at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Other time zones for you, and we'll have some scrolling information here perhaps. Greenwich Mean Time, 1 a.m. London, 2 a.m. If you're a night owl, I'd love to see you. I will be scheduling another one that is much, much more daylight convenient for England and Europe. Eastern Time is 9 p.m. Central is 8 p.m. Pacific Time is 6 p.m. But we're going to aim for Wednesday night as our first. Wednesday night US, Wednesday, oh my God, it's early in Europe. I would love to have you all join me. Please, if you have the opportunity, pop in, say hi. I anticipate to be online for approximately 1 hour. We will see if it's crickets. I'm sorry, I'm going to draw the line. Talking to myself is rather boring, actually. But please come and interact. YouTube Live is a fantastic platform. It is exactly like this right here. You see me talking, except I'm going to be live, and you're going to have the option of typing messages over to me as you're watching me and letting me answer in real time to you. There will, of course, it's all recorded, so there'll be playback opportunity as well. You'll be able to come back and see what other people asked and see my responses. It's a great opportunity for Q&A and just to get to know me. If you want to know a slightly more personal version than what I prepare on paper every week, you're welcome to pop in. And don't be shy. If you have questions about dyeing, if you have questions about knitting, if you have questions about techniques or design, ways to do the math or figure out your yardage, that sort of thing, I'm there for that, as well as what's that on your shelf? I can't figure out what that is. You're welcome to ask me anything. I will certainly let you know if we've gone too far. So I'm very excited about that. Also, I'm planning to do a podcast review episode coming up in the near future where I'm going to talk about a variety of podcasts that I watch. If you are a podcaster and you would like to be reviewed and featured on this, please reach out to me. Let me know. Don't be shy. I'm not going to bash anyone. I'm not going to speak negatively about anyone. But I do want our community to know about all the different podcasts that are out there. And some of our podcasts are a little hard to find. I know I'm guilty of that. I'm not the easiest one to search up. There's a couple that I found that I really enjoyed and I failed to subscribe to, and I really should have, because I had to really dig and search to find them again. And of course, once I did subscribe. But I would love to share this community so that you get to meet all the talking heads and have other resources. And it should be a garden of talking heads, little weather girl flowers in the sun knitting. Perhaps there's something in my drink. No, it's just lemonade. So that leaves me with just a general hug and thank you to everyone this week, and a reminder about my Patreon page. If you haven't been, please pop over and visit. I think I'm going to make some minor changes to your awards. Not reducing anything, not getting rid of anything, but just changing it up a little bit so that you have opportunities for different things, so that you don't tire month after month of the same reward. Either way, there is some kind of a reward or gift back at every level, and there is some exclusive content. I will be working very hard in the near future to get some additional exclusive content up there for you, including an exclusive shop so that you have additional access to the exclusive colorways. Many of the prizes include an exclusive colorway each month, and I know that for some of you, one skein simply is not enough and you would like more of that exclusive colorway. They are only available to patrons, so we need to set that up so you have access to those. I think that's a good idea. Also, I do want to do kind of a customer service announcement here. If, for some reason, you know that you had a prize coming to you and you did not receive it, contact me. Do not be shy. You are entitled to that. You are entitled to that gift. It is a thank you, and it is a very heartfelt thank you, and I want to be sure that you receive it. I recently had one that I had sent out that never made it to its patron. And I feel horrible about that. Horrible. It was not my fault. I swear it was not my fault. I received yesterday in the mail a package that I had sent out to one of my patrons that the machinery at the United States Postal Service is not yarn friendly, and it was mangled, absolutely mangled. I suspect that the package corner got caught in the feed system. It tore the packaging, it tore the plastic bag that I put your yarn in as a safe protective, and it ate it, and it came back to me in one of those United States Postal Service kind of Ziploc packages with a note that basically said, sorry. I was distraught. That you don't often see a skein that damaged. You just don't. It was so torn, and so it went through machinery. It legitimately went through machinery. I disposed of it. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. And I immediately resent out a new gift to that recipient. Please don't be shy. Let me know if you haven't received your package. In many cases, I can quickly track it and see, yes, it is absolutely on its way. It will be there approximately. Generally, I try to tell you when I ship. You should be receiving emails from the United States Postal Service letting you know that it's shipped or that it's tracking. You should be receiving those tracking numbers because of the way that I ship. If you don't, something has gone horribly wrong. If you're overseas, there may be another week delay before it gets to you. They're not particularly fast. Sometimes I think they actually float there on currents. But please don't be shy. Please reach out to me and let me know, hey, Jessie, I'm very grateful. I was the winner of the drawing, but I haven't received it yet and I'm concerned. Great, thank you, let me know. Let's get this problem handled. There's my PSA for the day. There's my PSA for the day. That is pretty much everything I have for you. I'm going to show off a bag that I received. I bought this. Etsy. That place is a drug. Walmart's got nothing on Etsy. You can get just about anything there, and the things that you get there are so lovely, and you can buy from people all over the world. So I was in the market for a bag. This is life talk again. This is off topic, I'm sure. I was in the market for a bag. I need a bag to kind of consolidate all the bags that I juggle on my way into work, because I've got my lunch bag and I got my handbag, and then I always have my knitting bag. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I had like a tote that I could put a couple of these bags in and kind of make my juggle a little bit less juggly. So I got online and I searched and searched and searched, and do you have fetishes? Do you have weird fetishes? I collect glasses, I collect bowls. There's a proper shaped bowl for everything. I love a bowl. So you need a soup bowl, you need a salad bowl, there's proper shape. I have a collection of bowls. There's an ice cream bowl, everything has a special shape. You need to have bags are the same way. And I'm very particular about which project bags I use for which projects and my need at the time. And thusly, of course, if I'm going to purchase a tote, I have very specific specifications for that. And so I searched for, I think I spent 3 weeks idly going through Etsy and looking at the various totes before I settled on this beauty. This came from Italy, from a fashion designer there. It is a one-of-a-kind. I keep looking at it because I love it so. And honestly, for what it is, I think I got it for a song. This tote, the fabric is stunning. Do you believe this? It's a nice deep bag. It has pockets on the inside. It has vegan leather straps that are just deep enough that I can put it on my shoulder, so that I'm not carrying and lugging. It has a beautiful polka dot lining. This fabric just speaks to me. It is like yarn all caked up. Isn't that beautiful? It's like gradients and just skeins all caked up, and looking at them from the top down, and that just makes my heart sing. And the back, I love this bag. I love this bag. I'm a strong supporter and patron of Etsy. It's a great platform for me, for my shop. I recommend it to other people because it handles accepting your payments for you. You don't have to worry about your transaction fees. It does all that for you, calculates it for you. It puts it into your payment account. They're working on a platform where the fees are going to come out of the payment rather than being billed separately from your payment account. But then you transfer the money to your own accounts, and you can download all of your reports and everything as well. It's a good resource, and it's honestly quite affordable when you look at the cost of setting up your own website, or you look at the cost of handling your own financial transactions. It's a nice resource. I have been with Etsy for a number of years now. I dare say since... it's been a long time. It's on the top of my page. Go and look at my bio. They tell you how long that shop's been there. They tell you what the rating is for the service based on your feedback. They remind you if you've purchased something to please leave feedback and to rate the seller. You're in control of the shop and so many of the aspects of it, as well as advertising through there. Really a fantastic resource. Obviously a ringing endorsement. No, they did not pay me. I simply tell you guys about things that I love. That's all I have to share with you this week. I have all kinds of things I need to go and take care of. Primarily, I need to go finish that knitted bind off and get that shawl blocked so that I can show that off for you guys next week. Please? Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be exciting? I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you Wednesday night and otherwise next week. Bye. Oh, and if you figure out this cloning thing, I better be the first person you contact.